Hi, my name is Jack Canfield. You probably know me as the co-author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, the book The Success Principles, and as a featured teacher in the movie and the book The Secret. I'm here today with Marilyn and Suey. We're going to be talking about your work and what you do. I'm really excited. I know a little bit about you. We've been talking off air. So let's start by telling our viewers just a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, thank you, Jack, for helping me showcase my business today. I'm the founder and the CEO of the Diamond Group Wealth Advisors, where my team and I have been showing business owners, executives, and healthcare professionals how to preserve and protect and pass on their wealth for over 20 years. And my passion is a little deeper than that because I created the Prosperity Blueprint process so that I can help successful women and men enjoy their hard-earned wealth. And for me, wealth is more than just your money. It's the people and the causes you care about deeply. It's the community that you live in. It's your family, and of course your business and your career. So there's a lot more to it than meets the eye.
So prosperity is more than wealth.
Exactly.
More than money.
More than money. It always is, as you know. And we work very diligently with our clients to broaden their aspect of investments and retirement plans and college plans, because that's just a small microcosm of what I think planning is for families and for people.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. So you're very passionate about your work. How did you get into this, and why are you so passionate about it?
Well, a couple things. I was raised as an only child, and of course the daughter of an Asian family. And one of the things that I was taught was to take care of myself, and that nobody else would. So that was a little different from my generation. However, I was fortunate, and when I came out of college, to be able to join corporate America as a management recruit. And I diligently, and of course probably didn't have a roadmap or a prosperity blueprint at the time, but I knew that I needed to take care of myself by funding my retirement. I purchased my first home, I think, at age 22. Of course, in those days, houses weren't as expensive as they are now in California. However, it was a step-by-step process. And for me, it gave me lessons. I mean, I learned a lot about, managing my own money matters. And so today, as I look back on that, I'm sharing those same tools, secrets, both successes and failures with my clients as they take their steps through their prosperity blueprint process.
I'm going to come to that process in a moment. I want to ask you about that. But I want to ask you this question first. There's a lot of people out there that would call themselves wealth managers, financial consultants, planners, etc. What makes you different from all the other people out there?
Well, I have a theory or a passion about the business in which we talk to people about matters that are more than just money. So when they come in, of course, the usual is, please bring your tax statements, please bring your investment statements, please bring your life insurance policies. But for us, our conversation starts with, what are your big dreams? What do you want for yourself if you're an individual? What about your family? What do you see yourself in 5 years or in 10 years? And if you're a younger person, how do you see your career, your business, helping you get to where you want to go? So we always say if we can paint a picture, draw a roadmap, and then put in the numbers, the investments, the things that you need to have to get you there, that's part of that prosperity blueprint. So we have a much bigger conversation with our families, with our business owners, with our healthcare professionals, because it's more than just the money. Yes, it's important. Yes, you have to have investments and protection. But really, the work that we do is encompassing more about, your big dreams. And we always talk about dream bigger, dream bolder, and dream brighter, because you'll get there.
Bigger, brighter, and bolder. I like that, the three Bs. Yeah. So a lot of people come to you. They work with you. And what are some of the most common challenges you see out there in the world in terms of this whole issue of money and the dreams and
it's not surprising that a lot of the challenges that our clients face are sometimes things that they were raised with. So it's the myths, perhaps, that
like what?
Oh, as an example, I'll tell you one from my generation of women. Money's not talked about in public, certainly, and even not privately. Women generally don't have to worry about money because somebody will be there to take care of you. Now, I was born a rebel, so I did the opposite. I took care of myself early on. But for many people, they grow up with certain myths and sometimes fears and anxieties because maybe when they grew up, they really had a shortage of money. They didn't have a lot. So they're more anxious about making those big decisions about starting a business, quitting a good paying job, because they want to follow their passion, but they're afraid to. So the work that we do encompasses both what I call work, wealth, and worth.
Say more about that, work, wealth, and worth.
So I wrote a book a couple of years ago, and it was 36 quick tips for savvy women, taking control of your work, your wealth, and your worth, because I noted in my work with couples and with individuals, both women and men, that the women had so much on their plate, so much to do, that they didn't have time to take care of themselves. So out of the book came the Savvy Women community that I'm building, and we have seminars, financial fitness workshops, and soon to be a mastermind for women who want to really dig in deeper about the work, wealth, and worth, and making sure that they can take care of themselves as well as the people that they care about.
Say more about the worth part.
The worth is something that I've taken coaching and classes to really dig deeper into. How do I tick? What makes me run? When do I run into either fears or anxiety? And I don't step over them, you step through them. And through your teachings and training, you've taught us how to, work through the process, work through what are those challenges and taking action, because when you take action, there is a result, and that result is usually a heck of a lot better than not taking action. So I practice that for myself, and I use it on my clients, and it's amazing the amount of goodness and abundance that's come from that. I can give you lots of stories about successes. It's been
Give
great.
me one.
Well, I have a client who's she's a therapist by training and by education. She works for a nonprofit, and a year ago, she chatted with me a little bit about where she wanted to go and how she wanted to start her own private practice, but she was scared. So one of the things, the challenges we talked about, was she had fears and anxiety about not being able to reach her dream, maybe not being able to afford to live, and that she didn't want to be, living on the streets of, of the East Bay in San Francisco. So we took on a collaborative approach to both looking inside her, both her personal finances as well as the business. And we put together a plan with her, working step by step. And I am happy to say that in 1 year, less than a year, she made her decision to both leave a great place that she was working, but it wasn't fulfilling her heart's desires. And now she's off. She's going to be running her own therapy practice. She focuses on children and on parents. And she is building a business that's, going to knock it out of the park in less than a year's time. And a year ago, if I had to take a selfie of her, she would have been sitting in the chair going, really? I really want this, but I don't know how to do it. And now she comes in her office and she is on top of it. She is really positive, optimistic. And so this whole idea of taking action and then carving your way through, whether it's a prosperity blueprint or whether it, in this case, was a business decision. Mm-hmm. So she's done great.
Now you focus a lot on women, and it's an interest of yours and maybe a focus of yours. Say a little more about that.
The Savvy Women community that we're building, we have about 200 women that come to events a couple times a year, and then we're now going to build offshoots where we take the prosperity blueprint process and carve it into a financial fitness seminar. So that for those who want to dig deeper, because seminars, as you know, sometimes we work at this level, but you can't always do a deep dive because you lose some of the people in the audience. So we're going to offer a little different financial fitness workshop and then some masterminds to really then incorporate the work, wealth, and worth. Because I really believe that whether you're a man or a woman, that the three go together, and that really drives the result from your purpose and your passion.
You've talked about the prosperity blueprint several times. You've mentioned it. What is that?
Prosperity blueprint is basically a process that we take our clients through, doing in a very deep dive into all of their financial world, whether it's, I hate to say this, whether it's budgeting, which everybody abhors, whether it's looking at should I buy, should I rent, What investment should I make? How are my investments doing? So we go through cash flows, assets, liabilities, of course, asset allocation, retirement plans, and then what a lot of people don't get to do until they're a little bit older, of course, is estate planning. And in California, as you know, it's very important to have your estate plans in place. We've had a number, unfortunately, of folks who have passed, and without an appropriate estate plan, it does get a little complicated. So we have a tried and true formula where we take our clients through, Part A, Part B, Part C. We'll run 10 or 12 scenarios. We'll work with them and say, okay, which one fits, which of these prosperity blueprints fits you now? And then we can put the rest in an archive and say, okay, if a curveball happens in your life, which it does, we can take a look and say, gee, we'll need to step back out of your retirement plan in order to, accommodate that curveball, right? It could be a child being ill. It could be one of the family members being sick. Mm-hmm. We have that going on right now. So the curveballs do come, and we try to help people through that.
Very good, very good. Challenges. People have all these challenges out there in life. They're dealing with that in terms of what you see walking in the door. Anything that's unique. I'm curious how you would deal with those.
Interestingly enough, we have folks that are just starting out, either in the business or in life. We have those that are mid-career, and of course we have those that are closer to retirement. And one of the things that we talk about, and it's not so much a challenge, but it's something I think it's a trend for folks that are pre-retiring, is to really think about their life differently. And the challenge is how to think about retirement or your second act, because your second act is going to be another 20, 30, maybe 40 years. My beloved mother lived to 101. Wow. So her second act was a long time. It was 40, 45 years. Now, and I think the younger generation is probably going to live even longer. So it's not so much retirement the way our parents and grandparents retired, sure, but the challenge is now for people to think in longer, if you will, longer time frames about, how to live your purpose and passion while you're working in your career or your business. And then post that, what's the next step for you? What's your second act? And so that's a challenge. Yeah. Because people don't think that way. They think, I'm going to stop working on December 31st and then what? Right?
Right. They wake up one morning and go, what?
Now what? I mean, how many rounds of golf can you play? How many trips can you take? I mean, you can take a lot. Trust me when I tell you, there are people who do. But I think, what's in your heart? What would make your heart sing, particularly in your second act? So.
Yeah, a friend of mine wrote a book called Make the Second Half of Your Life the Best Half of Your Life. Yeah. And most people don't even think about that. They kind of think about, now I'm done.
Right.
And for some people, I know some people who followed their passion after retirement and have made more money in 5 years than they made in the previous entire earning period. And not that that's the only thing, but it's like anything's possible if yes, people understand right, what they're going to have to deal with and how they go about it.
Yeah. So our conversations always open up with, what are your big dreams?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they bring in their pile of statements, but then we put that aside and say, well, let's talk about your life. How's it going now? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you want your kids to be? And then let's draw that picture for you.
So you're a coach at a very deep level.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. So if someone's out there watching us and they're looking at you and saying, yeah, I want that. I want to have a better handle on my finances. I want all these steps you talked about. I want to experience that in my life. What would you say to those people?
Well, first I'd say, we are our own directors, writers, and producers of our movie. There's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end. And sometimes people need to think about, I'm in the middle of my own personal life, my own journey toward financial freedom, financial independence. It is a movie. And sometimes you need a little bit of help. And you need help from specialists and executive producers. So the Diamond Group Wealth Advisors, we are those producers and specialists that can help somebody on their journey, helping them hit those curveballs, or perhaps putting a plan in place where they're just singing along and getting on their road to financial freedom. And so we always say to those folks, hey, dream bigger, write your dreams down, dream bolder, and dream brighter. And get to those dreams, because it'll happen. Beautiful,
beautiful. Well, I can see it in your eyes. You really care. You're glowing with enthusiasm and commitment to what you do. So thank you very much. I wish we had more time.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, we don't. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So if you'd like to take time to really figure out and work with someone who can help you really have a plan, not just for your finances, but for your dreams, how to underwrite those dreams, and how to make sure you have the money you need to get from wherever it is you think you might be retiring or settling back, so that you have the resources available, both financial and also intellectual and mental, and the ideas and this prosperity blueprint that you teach. Please reach out. Marilyn and her team at what do you call your company?
Diamond Group Wealth Advisors.
Diamond Group Wealth Advisors. Perfect name, Diamond Group Wealth Advisors. So I really encourage you to do that. So many people are just financially ignorant. It's better to say financially uneducated. So take advantage of this opportunity, this great resource. So thanks again for joining me today.
Thank you.